All right, everybody. What is going on? It is Sunday night. It is time for things to happen. Welcome to All Things Fantasy Grounds Talk Show, episode number 54. And before we get started, I am going to give the disclaimer, and then I'll introduce my co-host. The All Things Fantasy Grounds Talk Show is meant to teach and help, but the opinions stated by the three of us on the show are not that of Fantasy Grounds or Smiteworks USA LLC XYZ TWOHY. That's my last name. So just keep that in mind. We're not affiliated with the company. And last week, if you were here, we did go over the first half of the Fantasy Grounds Fridays tips that I put out on Facebook and Twitter and Fantasy Grounds College every week. And we decided, Leroon and Fury talked me into having finish it out this week, so we're going to do the rest of them. And so let me introduce my co-host, Mr. Leroon. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing great. I'm glad to be here, and college is growing like gangbusters, and we're getting ready to start announcing our one-shot gaming coming up here real soon.
Oh, very good. You want to say anything about that now, or are you going to wait?
We need to work on the details, but we're going to open the college up for more games and stuff, but we need to work out the details and make sure that, everyone's on board and how we're going to handle it and all that kind of stuff. So it's still...
Okay. And Miss Fury
Holy Testicle Tuesday!
I said your name, and then McClancy subscribed, so I said Miss Fury Fate, and then it was Holy Testicle Tuesdays. How are you?
Oh, nice. Perfect timing. Of course, the family do that. No, I'm good. Gosh, today was so boring. I did basic housewife shit, and it sucked. I never want to do that again.
I don't blame you.
I say you just don't ever do it again.
Right?
Yeah,
They
just
can't do
like,
all the work.
just say, I'm not doing that now, and then it's over, and that's it. All right, so we will be giving away at least one prize somewhere during the show, but let's get right to it. We stopped, so we did all the ones from the bottom. We did this many. I think it was about 30 of them last week. So we're going to start right here. And this tip was regarding the 5e rule set. You can set the weapon metadata by clicking the magnifying glass on the icon in the weapons bar. So we're going to show that. So let's go get a PC sheet right here. And if you go to the Actions tab, it'll say Weapons. And if you have weapons in there, it'll say, short sword, crossbow, whatever's in there. But if you click this little magnifying glass on the weapons bar right here, that opens the metadata. And what you can put in here is you can change what number you crit on. So you can maybe crit on a 19 if you're a champion fighter, or crit on an 18 if you're a really high level guy, whatever it is, melee and ranged. And then over here, extra crit dice. So I think barbarians have a thing where they get extra crit dice. And so like I could put 19 in there, and I could put 1 in here, like that. So that's where that's located. And a lot of times people don't really realize that until they see it for the first time. So you just click the little magnifying glass right here on the weapons bar, and that's how you get that. So there you go. All right. Playing two PCs. Any player can play two or more PCs at the same time. When doing so, double-click the portraits in the upper left of the screen. So when you sign on to a table, your DM can release the, like I can go here and release who owns the characters, and then anybody can go in here and claim them. So a person could claim 2 or even 3 or more characters. So if you have a person who's sick that week, or you still want to play your group's games, but somebody's missing, someone else can take the control of it. And you guys know that when you're playing, characters appear up here on the top left of the screen. And so if you have 2 or more, you can double click on whichever portrait is there, and it'll switch your control of the character. And the easiest way to tell is if you have different dice color for each character, when you double click on whatever character, it'll change the dice color to, whatever color that is. So that's just a little tip for that. Let's see, what else? As a GM, you can add languages to the language list. Oh, right, okay. So first thing you do is go to the options button, and then down here you click on languages. And then here, when you have this little language box, let me close everything so it doesn't get confusing. When you have this little language box here, you can click the edit button and add one. And, whatever the language
Druidic.
is.
Okay.
Well, Druidic's already there.
Okay.
So I added gibberish, whatever language you want. And then over here, this is, it re-alphabetized it. So let me go find it. Here it is. So this is the drop down for the font. So there's only so many fonts, but you can choose like the Elvish font. And then now, if you go down here, this will be one of the languages. So if you choose gibberish, you can type something out, and that's what it would look like. And only people that have gibberish would understand it. Same as any other language. So there you go. That's how you create a language.
That's the language of the gibbering mouther.
That's right. And so I'm actually going to go in there and take it out, because it's bullshit. That's why. All right. Let's see. The other one. You can scale the size of your user interface by clicking the settings button on the load screen or by typing scale UI in the chat. You do need a slash. So we've showed this a few times on the show. Scale UI 80. It makes it a little smaller so that you can get more on the screen. Scale UI 120. Makes it bigger. Go back to 100 here. Anything above 100 might jack your screen, though, so that you can't even see the bottom of the chat, so you got to watch out. The other way, too, of course, is if you are on the start screen and you go to the settings, which I will do now, you can change the number that's in there anywhere from 50 to 200. And it's basically the same thing as doing it inside the program. So the number's here, and you can just change that to 50 to 200, and then when you start Fantasy Grounds again, it'll change to that. But for right now, we are just going to go back into the regular thing here. Maybe. What happened? What's going on? Load campaign. Campaign's name is All Things Fantasy Grounds. Go back in. Okay. All right. So let's see. The next tip is to find the folder. If you're looking for the fire folder where your tokens, campaigns, modules, etc. are stored, just click on the folder in the upper right of the load screen. Oh, right. So as soon as I go back in, I need to go back out here. I'll just start another Fantasy Grounds. So a lot of times people, especially if you're a Steam user, you don't know where the folder is to find stuff. So all you have to do is click on the folder right up here on the upper right, open data folder, and it'll take you to where your Fantasy Grounds folder is. So I've got my campaigns, I've got my extensions, I've got my modules, everything's there. And that's how you do it.
Cool.
Let's see. If you want to create a random encounter balanced on the size of the party, you can include monsters equal to X number. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this one's a little complicated. This is badass. It's a little complicated. But let's say that you want to have an encounter and you want the number of monsters to be, like 1 per party member or 2 per party member. You can do that, and Fantasy Grounds will create that for you. And so here's what you would do. You would go to Encounters. You would go to Random Encounters. And then you would make one. And let's get a monster and put it in there. Oh, a crocodile. That sounds fun. So here in the formula, you would put... let's find out what the instructions say. the formula is X star $PC. So X equals the number of monsters you want per party member. So let's say, let me get rid of this screen here. So let's say we want to have 2 crocodiles per party member. So we're going to put 2 star $PC.
Yep.
And it's based off the number of people in the party sheet.
Yep.
So if I put both these guys in there. Now, Leroon, let me ask you. If I generate this encounter, and I am saying 2 per party member, and there's 2 party members, how many crocodiles am I going to get?
4.
That's right. So let's just see that happen. There it is. You generated an encounter with 4 crocodiles. And if you wanted to, you're playing your game and you're like, oh, I want this to be tougher. I'm going to make it 4 crocodiles per player. So if I generate that, it should be 16. Or 8, I mean, because I can't do math. 4 times 2 is 8, damn it. So there you go, and that's how you do it. And you can put any number of any monster in there to do that, and all you have to do is remember that it's X times number of PCs. So again, the formula is whatever the number is, and then star $PC, and that's a really powerful and really cool thing. And you'll even see some modules now that make it, because most times when you have a pre-made adventure, there's just, it tells you, oh, there's going to be, 6 dwarves and 3 goblins, but now you can do it to where you can pre-make encounters based on the number of monsters per person. So yeah, that's really cool.
That's a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing, and I can already tell fucking 10 minutes in I'm going to lose my voice. Let's see here, lock tokens. To lock tokens for DM movement approval, right-click any token and choose lock tokens. So most people know this one, but some people might not. So let's say...
Is there a mass lock tokens, so that way you don't have to do it individually for each player?
Yes, there is. That is not a map. Let's get a map here. So here's some tokens on the map. Now, as a DM, I can move them around freely. But if you want, and the players can move them around, if you want the players to not be able to move their tokens and to draw movement lines, you just go to any area in the map, right-click. Oh, sorry. No, my bad. So you right-click on a token, on any token, and then you choose unlocked, or you would choose lock tokens. They were already locked. So I don't want to confuse people. Let me lock tokens. So as a DM, I can move any of these tokens, even if they're locked, but players wouldn't be able to do it. If a player tried to move their token, it would look like this. They would try to move it, and it would start drawing their movement line, and then I'd have to approve it for them to move over. Now, just as a little extra tip on that, DMs can draw movement lines. I used to get frustrated that I couldn't do that, but if you're DMing, you can hold control and it'll let you draw that movement line so that you know as a DM how far you're moving if you don't want to actually do the math and just go, oh, that's 10 feet, that's 15, that's 20, like that. So once again, you right-click on the token and you choose lock or unlock there. And yeah, we don't want to talk about any of this other stuff at this time because I don't want to confuse people. All right, let's see. When the DM needs to attack the entire party with a trap or an ambush, she or he can use the party attack function in the party sheet. So let's go find that. So here's the party attack right here. So
Cheerbits in the stream. Thanks for the cheerbits.
Let's say I want to do a +5 attack on the entire party. If I am correct, we should see both Example Druid and Giant Vulture get attacked with a +5 here. So let's see how right I am about that. That's right. I attacked Example Druid and I attacked Giant Vulture both with a +5. So there you go. So if you have, if you want to have have that happen. Now, if I do some kind of yeah, the only thing is there's no damage for me to do. But if I had damage, I could just roll that. But this'll tell me I missed the example druid, but I hit the giant vulture. So that's pretty powerful, especially if you have 4 or 6 or whatever party members. You can just do it all at once.
I have a question about that, Robbie.
Yeah, go for it, please. Let me stop talking for a minute.
Does it base it off 10, or is it just a random number? I never knew that. I just use it for like hit or miss. I don't worry about it, but I was wondering if it's based off a 10 or something like that. I'm not sure how it works.
No, it's an attack. So you put the modifier, and then it's going to roll a d20 plus the modifier and compare it to each party member's AC.
Uh-huh.
So it's not based on anything. It's just an attack. It's like any attack.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Let's see. By clicking on the lighting button on the upper right, you can choose from 4 different moods: day, night, campfire, and forest. Yeah, that's right. We even showed this last week. Let's see. The lighting button is this one. And you can switch the screen to night. You can switch it to campfire. Oh my God. You can switch it to forest.
Yeah.
And then you can go back to day. And last week, one of the tips was hex code, where you can use any hex code to change the color. And then also, in addition to all of that, there is an extension that you can download from the Fantasy Grounds forums, and the name of that extension is Mood Lighting. And if you have that extension installed, there's about 20 or 30 or maybe even more different lighting codes in there, like cave or lake or forest or pond or storm, or there's just a bunch of them in there. So that's a thing that you can go and get to on the Fantasy Grounds forums if you're way into that. Let's see. Right clicking on the D6 will allow you to choose custom dice, at which point you can roll a D2 or D3. So I'll show you a couple things here. Sometimes you need a D2 or D3. So if you right click on the D6, you can choose D2. No, that's wrong. I rolled 2d6. That's not what I meant to do. You can choose custom dice right here. The one with the dice symbols on it. And now you can roll a D0. I don't know what the hell you would need that for, but a D2 or D3. So let's roll a D3. And it rolls it, and it tells you what the number is. And in case that was too fast for people, let me just do that again. So you right click on the D6, you choose custom dice, and you can choose between 0, 2, or 3. Again, 0, don't know what that does, because it's just going to be 0, right? Like, it's always going to be 0. I don't understand why that's there. But if you need a D2 or D3, you can do it. Now, most people, if they need a D2 or D3, they just roll the D6 and do the math. But if you want to actually do D2 or 3, you can do it. The other tip that I can give you there with that is that there is a command where you can roll any number as a die. So right here, /DIE space and then whatever you want to do, 1d6 plus 9 or whatever. So you can do that like this. If I just want to roll a D17, let's say, I can go /DIE 1d17, and it'll give me, it'll show me that it's rolling a D17 and give me the number. And so, yeah, if you need /DIE, let's say 1d5 plus 5, you can do that too. So it's telling me, oh no, I didn't do it right. I don't think you put spaces. Yeah, no spaces, because it would be at least 6, right? A 1d5 plus 5 would be at least 6. So yeah, so it rolled a 10, and if I do it again, it's a 9. I do again, it's a 9. Again, it's a 6. So that's kind of how you can do that. So if you need some weird die that isn't one of the regular ones, you can always get any number you want. adding the word dodge to an NPC in the combat tracker will cause attacks rolled against. What happened there? That got crazy. The thing disappeared. There it is. Attack rolls against it to be a disadvantage. So a lot of people get confused by that, because if you go to the effects, all of the predetermined effects, blinded, invisible, charmed, paralyzed, cursed, petrified, they're all there, but dodge isn't there. Dodge has never been there. So what you would do is you would just go to the combat tracker, and if you want this guy to be dodging, you would add an effect, say dodge, make it for 1 round, and then if, let's do an attack on the dodging person, and you'll see that it rolls at disadvantage there. And then since it's only for 1 round, as soon as you cycle through the turns past that person, it goes away. So there you go. The other thing you could do is buy the Rob2E coding package, and that's in there, and you don't have to think about it. Let's see. If accidental damage goes onto a combatant, it can be reversed by holding control and dragging the damage. Oh, this is awesome. This is very useful, by the way, for mini DMs. So let's clear the chat. Let's just do some damage. Let's say we're gaming, and we're moving along really super fast, and I take this damage and I throw it on example druid, and I damage him for 4. But I'm like, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to damage the giant vulture. So let's reverse that. So I'm going to hold control, and I'm just going to grab this number in the chat and drag it and drop it back on him. And you see there's the heal symbol under my mouse pointer is a heal symbol. I'm going to drop it there, and it's going to reverse it. It's going to say -4, and it heals him back up. You can also do that on the map. I could have dropped it on the token or in the combat tracker, either one. So that's a really cool trick. And again, reverse damage, you just grab it, hold control, drag it, and drop it. That's it. Need to target all party members or monsters at once? Here's your answer. At the top of the map, select target friendly units, the flag icon, or target enemy units, the glasses icon. So a lot of people don't know about this, but let's say it's my turn, and I have no targets. I'm going to be the example druid. Now, this would be much more dramatic if I had many tokens on the map, but you'll see how it works just with these small tokens. So if I hit the flag, which is target friendly units, I will hit that. It's going to actually target every single friendly unit. So it targeted me and the giant vulture. And if I target enemy units, it's going to just target the proper NPC, which is right there. So you can switch back and forth between your friends or your enemies, whether you're doing, aggressive blow up shit or maybe heals or something. And then this is good for fireball and all kinds of shit, whether you're attacking 20 different people. And then if you want to hit this clear targets, that'll clear any targets you have. So you saw in the combat tracker, like it says giant vulture and example druid, and if I hit this, it just goes away. They all go away. So that's a little sort of shortcut. And sometimes you might not see those things up there. If you don't see these, just ask your DM to unlock the map, and it'll put those there. And then sometimes they might not all be, they might not all appear. So sometimes you might have to click on a couple things to manipulate it. But normally if the DM has the map unlocked, you can see all these things that'll help you up here. Tokens can be individually scaled by using the mouse wheel and holding the control key. Yeah. So if I hold the control key down and then I just wheel my mouse, I can make this guy big or small, just like that. It's as simple as that. Now, Fantasy Grounds used to actually put a number in the combat tracker next to the token that told you the scale but they took that away, and I don't know why, but they did. If you wish to move to the location, if you wish to move the location of the dice tower, right-click and choose unlock. Okay, so the dice tower isn't shown on the screen here. Let me show it. Where is it? Here it is. Oh, you know why? The DM doesn't see the dice tower.
Because you don't need it. You look
Because
at
you don't
players.
need it. Players see it. So let's just do a little. This might come in handy for the rest of tonight too if we join game as local host. And that way the player will connect. On the DM side, we should see if it'll let me go there. What the hell?
Well, because it's busy connecting. You can't,
Yeah.
you know.
Local connected it does tell us that. So once the local is connected, we'll see it here. And then I will show you guys how to move the dice tower. Meanwhile, let's give away a prize, shall we? Let's do that. This is a good time to do that. Yeah. Let's give away a prize, everybody. We're going to do a keyword raffle. We're going to
What are you
make
giving away?
What am I going to give away? I'll tell you what I'm giving away. First of all, you have to spell it right. I'm going to give away a DM's Guild item. I don't think any packages today, but any single item that I've done by myself or that I've done with another author. But I think I'm going to give away like 3 of those tonight.
Whoa.
So everybody just calm the fuck down. DM's Guild item. So we'll do one right now. We'll start this thing up. We'll run a 2-minute timer. And if you guys want to enter to win that in Twitch, just type in !prize in the chat. Boffrin says, hashtag what a dick nice guy. That's awesome. All right, so that's going now. And over here we see the dice tower down here. So if you, you're blocking my dice tower with a fancy ground spits. If you don't like it there, some people like to have it over here or, wherever. You can right click it, unlock it, and then you can left drag it to wherever you want it. And you can leave it there. You can also relock it if you'd like. And then if you want to right click on it and unlock it, right click again and choose this item, which is reset position, it will put that back over to where it belongs. So yeah, so you can basically put that anywhere on the screen that you wish. Let's see. To give control of an NPC stat block to a player, drag the link from this. Yeah, okay. So let's see. I will do that. Let's go to NPCs. And whoops, I'm on the player side. How about I do it from the DM side? NPCs. Oh, first I have to, yeah, there has to be one connected. What the hell? What the hell is that? This is the DM's. That's weird. So the DM's, yeah, the dice tower. Remember what wasn't there before? I don't know. We'll get back to that in a minute. Let's give away the prize. All right, we've got 10 seconds left. And we will click on this. Give away the prize. Who is it? The winner is, boom, Nebbiolo. Nice job.
Nice.
So Nebbiolo, you know what to do. You've won before. I know you have. Just PM me in Discord and let me know your DM's Guild email, which prize you would like to have. And I will get that to you. And then we will do a couple more giveaways before the end of the show, everybody. So you have some more chances to win.
The winner is Boffrin.
The winner's never Boffrin, goddammit. All right, so let's do, we'll have this guy grab a PC. No, yeah. It's hard for me to remember which is the DM screen, so. Okay, so this is the player screen. So now I've grabbed that guy and put him up there. So we're going to remember the player screen is the one with the NPCs up there to the right like that. So let's go back to the DM screen. And I want to share a stat block of an NPC, the giant spider. I want to share that with the player. So I'm going to grab this, just drag it and drop it on his token. Now if I go back to the player's thing, there it is. Now, one thing to remember about this is as soon as the DM closes this stat block on their side, it's going to disappear from your screen. So watch what happens. I'll show you. So if I close that, now I go back to the player, it's gone. No, it's not. What happened? Did they fix that? Is that a new thing? I don't know what's happening. Oh, because that, okay, never mind. I don't know what I'm doing, you guys. I did it from the wrong side. So I don't want to confuse everybody. Let's just restart that. Oh my God, what is happening? This is the player side. Okay. Hey, okay, well, so I'm wrong about that. It didn't disappear, which is awesome. It used to disappear.
That was a fix or something or update.
Yeah, I don't think it was a glitch, but I think they must have fixed it so it doesn't do that anymore. So there you go. You don't have to worry about that anymore. So we'll just forget I said that because it used to be a thing, but now it's not. All right.
Well, I mean, that was like what done back in April, end of April that you did that tip. So there's been like, gosh,
yeah,
I
it's
don't
been
know,
a
probably
while. Well,
over 50 little individual tiny fixes that they've done here.
That's true. And I didn't. Part of the tip was not saying that it disappeared if you did that. That I didn't say that anyway. So I just knew that to be a thing that happened. Want to roll different die types together? Drop them into a hotkey as shown. Right. So let's say you want to roll 2d6 plus 2d8. You can go grab the d6, right click to add one. There's 2d6. Drop it in there. And let's grab the d8, right click to add one. There's 2d8. Drop it in there. So now there's 2d6 plus 2d8 in there. And if I just click it once, boom, it's going to roll them in the chat. There you go. 2d6 plus 2d8. Awesome. And I can right click and delete that. Very good. People are like, what? I didn't know you could do that. Multiple dice. When rolling dice, you can left-click mouse on a die and hold it, and then right-click to add any amount of the same dice. Yeah, so you just saw me do that. So, and people, if you play Fantasy Grounds long enough, someone in your game will do this. They'll grab a D20. They'll right-click it as many times as they can, which I think you can get up to 60 dice. I think it's 60. Yeah, that's the max. And then they'll throw them in the chat because everybody thinks it's funny. And yeah. Look, I got a 601. But where this really comes in handy is if you are casting a spell. Let's see. I don't have any spells on any of these guys, do I? Yeah. Well, let me put one on then. Let me go to here and put on like healing word. So healing word here. Let's put it on there. Okay, so healing word is 1d4 plus 2. But if you cast it at higher levels, you can add dice, right? So if I'm going to cast healing word at 3rd level, I'm going to left click and hold the effect, which will give me 1 dice. Now I'm going to right click 2nd level, 3rd level, and now I have 3 and I throw it, and instead of 1d4 plus 2, it's 3d4 plus 2. So that's where that comes in really handy to add dice like that. GMs and players can call for a vote or poll by simply typing /vote in the chat. You may add words after it to make a question. So you see this a lot in games where, are you guys ready to play? Like you'll see /vote ready, and then DM hits enter, and then on the player side, if there's more, obviously there'll be as one of these circles for every player there is, and I only have one player connected. And you can click it and make a check mark. You can click it and make an X, and you can click it and make it blank. So another way to use that would be the DM says you come to a fork in the road, and he says, do you want to go left or right? Vote left or right. And so you vote check for left, X for right, or I abstain and don't vote at all. So that's a pretty powerful thing, is the voting thing. You can use that for many different things. Let's see. When it comes to 40 minutes after, or 20 minutes to the hour, we'll give away another prize. You can quick draw a line, square, circle, or cone on any image or map by holding down Control, Shift, or Alt. Right, so let's show that. So let's get out. Let's go back to the map.
Ooh.
Hey, Mr. Wolf, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Let's open up this map here like this. We'll just use this one. All right, so if if you right click and choose pointers, you can draw a pointer, a square, a circle, or a cone. But if you want to do it quickly, if you just hold both mouse buttons and drag, you can draw a line. So you can do that. And if you just click both mouse buttons again, you can make it disappear. Now, that was without holding any key. If I hold the Control key and hold both mouse buttons and drag, then now I'm doing a circle. So you can draw it out and you can grab the center of it and move it around wherever you want it. And then again, double click both not double click, but click both buttons together, goes away. If I hold Shift and double drag, that's a square. And again, I can move it around, put it anywhere I want, get rid of it. And if I hold Alt, that's a cone. So I can, and once you do this a couple times, you'll learn how you can manipulate this and, do it however you want. So that's a 60-foot cone, and then I can move it and say, oh, it's going to be right here, down over here like that. And then again, not double click, but click. I keep saying double click, but what I mean is click both buttons simultaneously and they'll go away like that. So there you go. If you untick the circle to show on load for campaign setup and you want to get it back, you can find it under setup. Oh, right. So when you load Fantasy Grounds, sometimes this window shows up. This window always shows up, actually. And this is where you can open up some things in the library, check out the user manual, go to the wiki, go to the forums, do all kinds of stuff in here for those types of settings. But what happens sometimes is if you click this button, right, or if you uncheck this box that says show on load, the next time you load Fantasy Grounds, it will not be there. But what if you want it again and you're like, oh, I don't know where that is. So that's what this tip is you go to options, you go to setup, and then that's where all that stuff is. Oh man, I'm running out of voice here already. Let's give away a prize. Let's do it. How far are we, by the way? Let's see. I'm into March. Yeah, we're okay. So we've got about 10 more, maybe.
Cool.
All right, prize time. Let's clear this out, and we'll ask Nebbiolo to stand aside because he's already won. So everybody else can enter this, and this again will be for a DM's Guild item that I've made or that I've done with another author collaboration. And all you have to do right now is enter !prize into the chat. And once we count down 2 minutes, I will draw another winner. Let's see. If you want to export all PCs from your campaign into one XML file, perhaps to move all players from one campaign to another, you can do that by typing /export char in the chat window. This will save all the PCs into one XML file together. So I'm not going to do that, but I'll show you how to do it. So I've got these two PCs here. Actually, it would be not what's in the combat tracker, but what's here. So you just go down here to the chat window. You type. Actually, you know what? We will do it. Export char. It's going to bring up a window and ask you what you want to call it. So let's call it All Things Fantasy Grounds Talk Show .xml. And I'm going to save that in my characters folder. I'm going to save it right there. Boom. Now, just to show you how confident I am, I'm going to erase both these characters. What? They're gone. Now, I erased them. Get them out of here now because they're not linked anymore. So, I want to get those back. So, I'm going to go here to character selection, the PC button. I'm going to go blue button, import character. And I'm going to say import character file. I'm going to find the one I just made. And when I click open, it should import both of those characters. So let's see if it did. Yeah, there they are. The giant vulture doesn't have his icon because XML files don't save graphics, but there, he's got it back now. So there you go. That's how you do it. So that is really good in case you want to, you're playing, your group is there. You've got 6 characters, and somebody's DMing, and then they're like, okay, we finished that module. Now, Fred is going to DM, and Tina is not going to DM anymore. So Tina saves all the characters and sends the file to Fred, and then he loads them in his campaign, and there you go. You're all ready to go. Let's see. Did we give away? Okay, hold on. Let's give away the prize. Yeah. Here we go. We're gonna give away the prize. Ready? The winner is McClancy 10,006. All right, Mark. You know what to do. PM me in Discord, and I will give you your prize. He knows all about it. He knows what's up. Congrats to M. Clancy 10,006. All right, next tip. We're gonna give away one more prize at the end of the show, everybody. So hang around. Hold down Control or Alt when pressing Enter to send chat in different modes. I don't even know what the hell that means. Let's find out. Let's find out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's just clear this. Let's do our favorite thing and clear out some of this shit. All right. So, let's see. Hi there.
Cheerbits.
Cheerbits
in the stream.
McClancy,
Thanks for the
10,006.
cheerbits.
Cheerbits. Hi there. Let's see. I'll just send it regular. And if you hit the up arrow, it'll put in what you put there last. So let's see. I'll hold down Control. Okay. I'll hold down Shift. Shift doesn't do anything. Let's see. Alt. Oh yeah. So you can send it in different methods. You can send it 3 different ways. So you see regular, Control, and Alt. And that's what that'll do. So that's kind of cool. Holding Shift while dragging an item from the party sheet inventory will drag all of the quantity over. Oh yeah, so that's sometimes you see people get frustrated and stuck when let's put some items. Oh, I don't have anything open for the items. Whatever. Player's Handbook. Okay, so let's say, yeah, let's say it is arrows. Oh, what am I on the player side? God damn it! You guys didn't stop me. Okay, so you're looking at the inventory. There's 20 arrows in there. And oh, that's not a good example. Oh, here, let me just change this a second. All right, let's say there's 40 arrows in there. 40 of a single arrow, right? So I'll go back to the player side now. So here's me. I'm this guy. And the DM says, okay, you want those 40 arrows? Go ahead and take them out. Put them in your inventory. So I go here to my inventory, which only has leather arm in it. And I'm like, okay, let me do it. Give me that arrow. Oh, it gives me 1. Oh, fuck. I'm going to have to do this 38 more times. Dragging these arrows over. This is bullshit. Nope, just hold shift. Hold shift and drag it, and it gives them all to you. So that's a really good tip. Super good tip.
I thought you were going to flip out for a minute there.
I was going to flip out. Hey, believe me. You know, I flip out. Stuff like that does make me flip out. But what's funny is when I discover something that is a pain in the ass, I get really upset about it. But then later when I discover that it's a quick way to do it and I didn't have to do it that whole time, that even makes me flip out even more. I'm like, oh, fuck, all this whole time I didn't need to do that. And I mean, I've been using Fantasy Grounds for more than 3 years and I still find out stuff all the time. Okay. Drag almost any clickable item to a hotkey bar for quick access. You can hold down combinations of Control, Alt, and Shift to give you up to 96 hotkey combinations. Yeah. Used for initiative, maps, pass the turn, etc. So let's do it. Let's do a couple of those. Let's do a couple examples. So these hotkeys down here are empty. And you see it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If I hold Control, you'll see a C comes in there. If I hold Shift and S, A and Alt, and then any combination, I can hold Shift, Control, A, and they all show up there. So there's 96. Very common one is to left click and hold and drag your initiative down to the lower left right there. Another one might be your weapon attacks. So let's say this guy has a short sword and he wants his attack there and his damage here. And just things that are easy to access. Maybe the DM wants to, for some reason, wants this turn complete to be over here in the right, like that. You can do that. Another one I use a lot is I'll have the player's handbook open. I'll go to the reference manual and I'll find conditions, which is Appendix A. And I'll drag just that down there like that. And that way when I'm playing, even if I'm the DM I use that for DM and player because very often you'd be like, oh, yeah, if I'm unconscious, is that an automatic crit? I can't remember. And you go down and you can look through all these conditions real quick. So this is just a couple examples. Now, the thing to remember about hotkeys is a couple things. If you do hotkey something from a character sheet or anywhere else that normally requires a double click, like if I want to attack, I have to double click that, right? But if I'm just going to do the attack down here, it's a single click. So be very mindful of that or you're going to piss your DM off something fierce. Because since you're used to double clicking, you're going to come down here and you're going to double click it and make 2 attacks and freak the fuck out of everybody that's watching. Or you're going to go to your initiative, instead of clicking it once, you're going to double click it and roll initiative twice. So just be very mindful of that. And then if you want to take these away, you just right click and delete, right click, delete, right click, delete, right click, delete. Now, one more note about that. Let's say this guy's got what's a good example? This guy's got a +3 on a short sword attack. So I'm going to go down here. Okay. Let me see. I'm going to use clear. Nope, that didn't work. What the hell? I typed it wrong. CLEAR. Oh, you know why? Because it's the player. The player can't do that. Nope, the player can't do it. Okay, let's go to the DM side then. The player cannot clear the chat, but the DM can. Okay. Let's say that this guy has a +3 attack, so he hotkeys it. And there it is. It's a +3, right? Now, let's just say that this example druid goes and levels up a bunch of times. Gets another level of ranger. Beastmaster. Gets another level of druid. Gets another level of druid. And now he's a +4. So here's what you have to watch out about hotkeys. So you're going along and you're playing and you still have your hotkeys. He's going to do his short sword attack again. But guess what? It's still a +3 because hotkeys are not dynamically updated from the character. It's only what it was when you put it there. So now you would have to delete that and re-hotkey it as a +4, and then now it's a +4. So that's one that'll get by you if you're not just thinking about it, and you'll play so many games and sessions and realize one day you've been cheating yourself out of a +1 because you forgot to re-hotkey it. So just keep that in mind, everybody. All right. For players and GMs, by double-clicking the token on any map, Fantasy Grounds will display that NPC stat block or PC character sheet. Yeah, I only figured this out like about a year ago. I was so pissed. That's one of those lay runes where I didn't know about it, and then when I figured it out, I was like, oh my god, you gotta be kidding me. So let's go back to that map. Which one has the tokens on it? Damn it. Now I can't. Which one is it? Oh, fuck. Oh, well, if I would have just stopped for a second and relaxed and calmed down, I would realize that the way to find the maps with the tokens on it is to click on the token. Like that. But guess what? I bet they're not on any map. No, because I remember I deleted. Okay, I'm all right. I'm fine now. I deleted the tokens when I saved them for that example, so then they're not on any map. So let's get a map, and then I'll just start over. All right, let's put the tokens on this map here. And remember, you got to put them from the combat tracker. You can't just drag them on there from anywhere except the combat tracker, or they're really not combat tokens, are they? So put them in the combat tracker, and then drag them onto the map. Okay. Now, here's what happened. I didn't scale, or I didn't grid the map. So I've got to do that. Now I can do that again. Drag them on there. Okay. Now, I've already forgot what the tip is that we're doing, so let me go read it. Oh, right. Okay, so whether it's an NP... Oh, god damn it. Okay, everybody just don't panic like I am. Everybody just take a deep breath. So whether it is a monster or a player character, all you have to do to get the character sheet is double click it and it'll bring up the character sheet, or double click the monster and it brings up the stat block. So there you go. Now, of course, players will not be able to bring up monster stat blocks or any other than their own. Like you couldn't, bring up somebody else's, but the DM can bring up anybody. And let me tell you why this is good if you haven't ever used this before. A lot of times it'll be Giant Vulture's turn and he's here and he moves away. And you're like, okay, this guy gets an opportunity attack on the Giant Vulture. So let me move the turn up here, find all this guy's attacks, make sure I do the opportunity attack, and then after I'm done, move the turn back to here and make sure I don't screw up anything. Well, no, you never had to do that like I was doing for 2 years. All you have to do is pop this open, find the opportunity attack, and do it. So, super easy, very useful, and I can't believe I played from September of 2015 until February of 2018 and never knew that. I was so pissed off. All right, we've got a couple more here. Circle P. So if you're having problems sharing any new maps to your players, you can open the images and maps and look for the shared images, the ones with the circle P, and then make them unshared. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Let me make sure I'm on the DM side here. So actually I don't have any. That's not a good example. So let me share a couple. Share this map here. All right. So now I've shared 3 images. Here's a circle P right here. Here's a white circle P, I call it. The P stands for public. And if you want to look at just those, just the ones that you've shared, you can come down here and click the all button and change it to shared, and it'll list every image that has been shared to players. Now, if your machine's running slow and you need to clear up some memory and not have every client connected, all 6 players connected to you pulling those maps, then all you have to do is come and click these P's, and it will unshare those maps or images and make things go a little bit faster. So that's just a little tip. That's what these are. These are tips, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Targeting enemies, control click, then mousing over the active character automatically shows ranges, and players and dungeon masters can easily see the distance. Oh yeah, okay. So that might seem obvious to a lot of people, but some people don't know about that. So, whoops, hello. I don't know what happened there. I clicked some button that took me to a web page, and then I closed Fantasy Grounds. That's awesome. Everything's awesome. All right. So let's say I'm this guy, the example druid. And I move my mouse over to this monster, and I hold control and I click on it. So you see that I do have it targeted in the combat tracker. And if I mouse over my own token, it will show me the distance and the fact that I have him targeted. So that's pretty useful for a lot of things. And that's all that tip says, is, if you want to be able to do that. Green, yellow, red. Dungeon masters can quickly drop monsters from the combat tracker. Yeah, I actually did this earlier tonight, but we didn't know that's what we were doing. So these 3 little helmets down here, if you grab the helmet, left click and drag it, the green one's friendly units. If you just drag that over and drop it, it will put every monster that's a friendly monster in the combat tracker on the map in a diagonal order from top left to bottom right, like that. So if there was 10 of them, it would have made a big line of 10 monsters like that. You can do it with the yellow ones. Of course, that's not going to do anything because there are no yellow ones. And you can do it with the red ones, which are hostile, and it will drop them on the map too. So as I'm showing these, it's not as good of an example because, here, let me try something here. Let me just put a bunch of these in there like that, and that'll better show the example. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. So now if I grab this red thing and, whoops, hold on. Should get rid of that. Okay. Now if I grab the red thing and bring them up, should put 5 of them in there. Yeah, so like that. So that's a really quick way to get all the things on the map if that's what you need to do. Let's see. Now we're going back to this is before I started doing the tips. So all of that last one, and then the ones we're gonna do, these other 3 or 4 that we have left, these were done by Robert Aducci before I took over. Because I started February 1st of 18, and he was doing it before that, and he had done it for 3 or 4 weeks. So let's see. You can turn off the dice results to players for more reliance on the DM to narrate the results. Players won't see if they hit on attack rolls or saving throws or skill checks, keeping the suspense high, except if they roll 20s, of course. Yeah, and I do this. This is how I play. I don't let the players know if they've hit or missed. And where you do that is in the options. And if you go back, I think it was show number 1. I think we cover every option in here, or we did at the time a year ago before they added stuff. But you should be able to go back to All Things Fantasy Grounds Talk Show number 1, and we go through all of these. But that particular one is the show roll totals, show results to client. You say off, or you can show them only the friendly rolls, or none at all. And so when they roll to hit, it won't say hit or miss in there. It only to the DM, and then the DM has to say yes, you've hit, or that was a miss. Let's see. Managing the amount of space a map takes up on your desktop space can be quick. Just press Control and left click and drag. So that's I'll show you what he's talking about there. So with maps, you can use this yellow square. If you click that and hold it, you can move within the map. If you grab this bottom right thing with an angle, you can do that. But instead of taking the time to have to precisely move your mouse in and grab that and make sure that the arrow isn't up and down or sideways and it's at an angle, instead you can just put your map anywhere on the mouse and hold Control, and then if you left drag around, you can resize the map to anything you want. So you'll see me. What I'll do is maybe I'll have the combat tracker open like this, and I'll have it over here, and then I want the map to be basically everything between the combat tracker and the buttons over here, left to right, and then not quite all of the space down here. So you'll see me put the map. I'll locate it here like this. I'll hold Control. I'll drag it over here like this, and then sometimes I might want to see if I right click, choose resize, and choose the adjust vertically, it's going to leave the width as it is, but make it as vertical as long as possible until the map runs out. And it might be too long. See, I don't like that. I don't want it to go down that far. I like to have it like this. But anyway, so you can move it all around and do all that just by holding Control. It's pretty cool. And if you don't hold Control, then it just moves the whole map itself. So there you go. I think we might stop. These other tips are way involved, and they might be whole shows. Yeah, so I think we covered like
pretty much all of them.
Yeah, pretty much all of them, like she said.
Okay,
and that,
but just a real quick question and a reminder for everybody else from last week. How do you find all these tips?
That's right.
Because it's very important, because they might not know.
If you would like to find these tips and all the future tips, tips get put out on Fridays. They get put out on Thursdays in the Fantasy Grounds College Discord only, but Fridays on Twitter and YouTube. Not YouTube, Facebook. Facebook gets posted one time at 3 a.m. Eastern Time. And the Twitter times are
They show up in the afternoon.
3 a.m., 7 a.m., 11 a.m., and 5 p.m.
I noticed the afternoon ones.
Yeah, and so I do. So those it posts 4 times on Twitter. But the answer to that question was, if you're on Facebook, you can just go to the search bar and type in hashtag Fantasy Grounds Friday, all one word, and then space tip, and then it will show you. It'll list them all out, all the ones that we've done. Now on Twitter, it's the same thing. You go to Twitter, you go to the search, and you type hashtag Fantasy Grounds Friday, all one word, and tip. Now, if you don't include the word tip, it's also going to show you the notifications for the show that we put out that Dave does on Friday mornings. So if you add the word tip and then search, then you should see all the ones on there. Yeah, now the reason that showed up is because I actually had Fantasy Grounds Friday tip in that thing that I posted just before the show today. But anyway, yeah, they'll all be there, and you might see multiples of them because I post 4 times on every Friday. So that's how you would do that. And let's give away a final prize. We never forget that. So let's give away one more prize. I'm going to start the thing. Start the clock. If you want to win a prize, which is a DM's Guild from me or for anybody that I worked with as an author, there's about 110 things available on the DM's Guild. Just enter !prize in the chat right now. If you happen to be watching on YouTube later, well, then you missed out. You got to be here 6 o'clock on Sunday nights Pacific time to get some live prizes. So if you have final questions, guys, go ahead and type them in the chat. Again, questions can be about what we covered tonight, or they can just be about anything Fantasy Grounds. If you had something you were wondering about, now's the time because you've got our attention. And I look forward to not doing a show like we did today or a show like we did last week because I definitely, by the time I'm done talking for an hour straight with no breath,
too much talking.
It's too much talk. I mean, normally other people talk or I can, but I mean, I'm talking and not stopping, which is not really my thing. Some people that know me say it is my thing, but it's not. It's not. When you hover over a token, are the gray squares indicative of reach? Yes, they are. And as a matter of fact, that's one we didn't cover, which was the one I did last week between the 2 shows, which talked about by clicking the isometric square symbol in the combat tracker, which is this symbol here, you can change. So let me find this guy. Right. Okay. So he's 10. He's a 10 and a 5-foot reach. So you see, if I hover over him, the gray square is his 5-foot reach. Now, if I change him to 15 feet and a reach of 10, then maybe I have to redrag him in there. Yeah, so now he's 15 feet and the reach is 10. So you can make changes. It's pretty cool. So yeah, that the answer to that question is yes. All right, we've got our entrants. Let's draw a winner. And the winner is Hehaub. So Hehaub, you know what to do because you've won before too, or even if you haven't, you know me. So just PM me in Discord and I will take care of your prize for you. Congrats to all the winners tonight for the prizes. If you want to win more, just be here every week. That's how you do it. So, any more from you guys, the co-hosts? Anything else you guys want to say?
No, I think we covered everything. What's next week's show again?
Oh yeah, next week's show. What is next week's show? Oh, next week's show. Let's just highlight this because I love doing it. Proper combat etiquette. So we're going to be talking about things like rolling, targeting, moving.
Not to double roll.
Yep.
Yeah. Janky movement. I mean, just different things that come up quite often, and things that you can do to help your DM run a smoother game and not frustrate other players. And there's not, some things aren't hard and fast, like they're not, you must do it this way, but there are definitely best practices that you can implement when you, especially if you're a player. So we'll talk about those and we'll get your guys' feedback and ideas on that too, the audience.
I want to be the player that you yell at.
Etiquette, Rob Tui?
Yeah. No,
Boffrin says etiquette, Rob Tui. How's this possible? You're gonna be the player that I'm gonna yell at? Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'll be Goofus, and Fury Faye can be Gallant, and she does everything right, but I do everything wrong.
All right. So we are gonna talk about that next week, and beyond next week, we don't have any scheduled shows specifically. We are definitely doing the shows, but we don't have any scheduled specific ideas, which means that you, the audience, can solicit things that you want to see us talk about. I mean, we've done 54 shows over the course of a year, and we've talked about a lot of things, seemingly almost everything you could talk about Fantasy Grounds. But we all know that's not true. There's always more that you can do. And we've even had some comments about talking about things we've talked about, but they want to see more of it or go over it again or, this and that. So if you guys have ideas, if you know somebody that you think might be a good guest for the show for any particular reason, like they have something that they've made or, basically the only rule is it just has to do with Fantasy Grounds. So if they have made a module or if they've made a extension or if they have something that they can offer to talk about with Fantasy Grounds specifically, then let us know who that person is and we'll try to get them on the show. If that's you, then let us know. But if you have other ideas or anything like that, just let us know so that we can do it. Now you can of course PM us in Discord or whatever, but we also have the Idea Informer place that you can go and type the ideas that you want for the show, and I'll put that link in the chat for you guys in case you want that. Ideas, Fury Fate, she's already handled it. She got it. So do that please for us. And if that is it, then I will end the show. We'll just end it.
That's it.
Just take a bite, just dip the chip, and end it. You dipped the chip, you took a bite, and then you dipped again. That's Seinfeld.
Double dipping.
Double dipping. That's no good. So let me go ahead and put this on the slides and remind everybody that tomorrow I'll be here for Module Creation Monday. Wednesday will be the pickup games. Anybody can come by and play those. Friday will be Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Saturday will be... What is Saturday? Oh, yeah. Saturday's Battle Royale, so anybody can do that. If you've played before, then all you have to do is tell me you want to play by Friday night at midnight. If you haven't played before, then you got to read the rules and sign up and jump through all my hoops, but then you can play. It's super fun. The videos are on YouTube, so you're going to check them out. They're really fun. And then, of course, Sunday we'll be back here again for this show. That's how we do it.
All right.
All right. So, on behalf of my two co-hosts, Fury Fate and Leroon, I want to say thanks to everybody for watching and participating and hanging out tonight. And hope to see you back here tomorrow and for all the shows. And until then, good gaming, everyone.